It was Alex, the original guy that owned the Bugatti in the first place and crashed it after he got paid out from insurance.
For many years, Bugatti has been seen as one of the most exclusive car brands in the world. Owning a Bugatti is not just about having a fast car. It is about owning a machine that represents the highest level of engineering, luxury, and performance. Models such as the Veyron and Chiron became famous for breaking speed records and pushing the limits of what a road car could do. Their prices, often reaching several $1 million, helped create an image of complete exclusivity. Buyers believed they were getting something truly unique, built with special parts technology that could not be found anywhere else. Because of this reputation, many owners accepted the extremely high cost of maintenance and repairs. Spending tens of thousands of dollars on routine service was viewed as part of the ownership experience. However, recent videos from automotive YouTuber Mat Armstrong have started a new discussion among car enthusiasts. During the process of rebuilding damaged Bugatti vehicles, Armstrong discovered that some parts inside these multi-million-dollar hypercars appear to be shared with other vehicles from the Volkswagen Group. Since Bugatti was owned by Volkswagen for many years, the discovery should not be entirely surprising. Yet for many people, seeing actual part numbers and components that appear similar to those used in much cheaper cars raise important questions. If certain parts are shared across different brands, what exactly are Bugatti buyers paying for? Is the value found in the individual components, or is it found in the complete package of engineering, design, performance, and exclusivity? These questions have sparked heated debates across the automotive world and have led many people to take a closer look at what makes a Bugatti so expensive in the first place. One reason this topic has attracted so much attention is because Bugatti ownership is famous for its incredibly high maintenance costs. Stories about Bugatti service bills have circulated for years and have become almost legendary among car enthusiasts. Reports often mention oil changes costing tens of thousands of dollars, specialized tires costing more than many new cars, and replacement parts carrying eye-watering price tags. For many owners, these costs seemed reasonable because they believed every component was highly specialized and produced in very limited numbers. The assumption was that maintaining a hypercar capable of traveling at speeds above 250 miles per hour required extraordinary engineering and equally extraordinary expenses. When people hear their replacement engine can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, or that a key fob may cost more than a small family car, they often justify those prices by assuming the parts are unique to the vehicle. This is why the discoveries made during independent rebuild projects attracted so much interest. If some components are shared with vehicles that cost a tiny fraction of a Bugatti's price, the public naturally begins to question how repair costs are calculated. However, it is important to understand that automotive manufacturing has always involved part sharing. Luxury brands, performance brands, and even exotic supercar manufacturers often use components from parent companies to improve reliability and reduce development costs. A switch, sensor, airbag, or electronic module may be shared across multiple models without reducing the uniqueness of the final product. In fact, many automotive engineers would argue that using proven components can actually improve quality because those parts have already been tested extensively. The real debate, therefore, is not whether Bugatti uses shared parts, but whether customers fully understand how much of their vehicle is truly unique and whether the company's pricing structure fairly reflects the value being delivered. The most talked about discovery from Mat Armstrong's rebuild process involved an airbag component that appeared to match one found in an Audi model. During the restoration of a damaged Chiron, Armstrong noticed a Volkswagen Group part number on the back of the passenger airbag. After researching the number, he found similarities between the Bugatti component and one used in an Audi A3. To many viewers, this seemed shocking. The idea that a hypercar worth millions of dollars could contain a part that also exists in a much more affordable vehicle quickly became a viral talking point. Videos discussing the discovery spread across social media, and many people interpreted the finding as proof that Bugatti owners were paying huge markups for ordinary parts. However, the issue is more complicated than it first appears. Shared part numbers do not always mean two parts are completely identical in every way. Manufacturers frequently adapt existing designs, modify components, or use the same housing while changing internal specifications. At the same time, Critics argue that if a part can physically fit and perform the same function, customers deserve greater transparency about what they are paying for. Regardless of which side of the debate someone supports, the discovery succeeded in drawing attention to a topic that most buyers never consider. Many consumers assume that every part in an ultra-expensive vehicle is custom-made exclusively for that model. The reality is often more complex. Modern cars contain thousands of components, and creating unique versions of every single one would dramatically increase production costs. As a result, manufacturers often choose to focus their engineering resources on the areas that most affect performance, safety, and customer experience while using proven parts where appropriate. The controversy surrounding the airbag became less about the component itself and more about the larger question of exclusivity and value in the luxury automotive market. Another reason these rebuild videos attracted attention is that they challenge the belief that only official Bugatti facilities can successfully repair these vehicles. For years, the company emphasized the complexity of its cars and the specialized knowledge required to service them. This messaging helped reinforce the idea that Bugattis were unlike any other vehicles on the road. During several independent restoration projects, however, technicians and mechanics outside the official Bugatti network managed to diagnose and repair issues that many people assumed would require factory involvement. Some problems that appeared extremely expensive at first turned out to have relatively simple causes. These examples created a powerful narrative for viewers because they suggested that certain repair costs might be influenced as much by business practices as by engineering requirements. Nevertheless, there is another side to this discussion. Official manufacturers often take a very cautious approach to repairs because they must guarantee safety, reliability, and legal compliance. A repair performed by an experienced independent technician may work perfectly, but the manufacturer may still prefer replacing an entire assembly rather than repairing a single component. From the company's perspective, this reduces risk and helps maintain quality standards. Critics view this approach as unnecessarily expensive, while supporters argue that it protects both the vehicle and the customer. The debate highlights a broader issue that extends far beyond Bugatti. Across the automotive industry, consumers are increasingly questioning repair policies, replacement procedures, and the balance between manufacturer control and independent repair options. As more enthusiasts document complex repairs online, the public gains greater insight into how vehicles are built and maintained, leading to more informed discussions about value and ownership costs. At the center of this controversy is a simple but important question. What are Bugatti owners really paying for? If a hypercar shares certain components with less expensive vehicles, does that automatically make it overpriced? Many experts would argue that the answer is no. A Bugatti's value comes from far more than individual parts. The engineering required to create a car capable of extreme speeds is extraordinary. The development costs, limited production numbers, advanced materials, handcrafted assembly process, and brand heritage all contribute to the final price. Buyers are not simply purchasing an engine, an airbag, or a set of tires. They are purchasing access to one of the most exclusive automotive experiences in the world. At the same time, the discoveries made by independent rebuilders have encouraged greater transparency and sparked valuable conversations about how luxury products are marketed. Consumers today have more access to information than ever before, and they are increasingly interested in understanding exactly what they are buying. Whether one sees the shared components as evidence of smart engineering or as a challenge to Bugatti's image of exclusivity depends largely on personal perspective. What cannot be denied is that these discussions have changed how many people think about hypercars. Instead of focusing only on performance numbers and price tags, enthusiasts are now examining the details hidden beneath the bodywork. The result is a more informed debate about value, engineering, branding, and exclusivity. In the end, Bugatti remains one of the most remarkable names in the automotive world, but the questions raised by these discoveries ensure that conversations about what makes a multi-million-dollar car truly special will continue for years to come. Another factor that made this story spread so quickly is the growing influence of independent automotive creators on YouTube. In the past, most information about exotic cars came directly from manufacturers, dealerships, or automotive magazines. Today, creators with cameras and mechanical knowledge can take viewers inside projects that were once hidden from the public. Millions of people watch Mat Armstrong, and other rebuild specialists take apart damaged supercars and hypercars piece by piece. Viewers were able to see components, wiring, electronics, and structural parts that are normally covered by body panels and luxury interiors. This level of transparency has changed the way people look at expensive vehicles. Instead of simply accepting marketing claims, many enthusiasts now want proof. They want to know where parts come from, how repairs are performed, and whether the costs charged by manufacturers are truly justified. In Bugatti's case, the rebuild videos gave people a rare look behind the curtain. What made the content so powerful was that it did not feel like a traditional review or opinion piece. Viewers were watching an actual repair process unfold in real time. Every discovery felt natural because it happened during the restoration itself. This created a sense of authenticity that attracted millions of views. However, there is also a danger when technical discoveries are presented to a general audience. Complex engineering decisions can sometimes be simplified into headlines that do not tell the full story. A shared component may exist for safety, reliability, or manufacturing efficiency rather than cost-cutting. Yet, once a discovery becomes viral, many people focus only on the most shocking part of the story. That is exactly what happened with the Bugatti discussion. The debate quickly expanded beyond a single component and became a broader conversation about luxury branding, exclusivity, and whether wealthy buyers are getting what they believe they are paying for. Supporters of Bugatti argue that critics are focusing on the wrong details. They point out that nearly every major luxury and performance manufacturer shares parts across different models and brands. Even some of the world's most respected supercars contain switches, sensors, electronic modules, and interior pieces that can be traced back to vehicles costing much less. This practice exists because modern automobiles are incredibly complicated. Developing every single component from scratch would be extremely expensive and, in many cases, completely unnecessary. If a part already performs its function reliably, manufacturers often choose to use it across multiple vehicles. From an engineering perspective, this approach can make perfect sense. It allows companies to spend more resources on areas that truly define the vehicle, such as the engine, chassis, aerodynamics, suspension, and overall driving experience. A Bugatti Chiron, for example, contains engineering solutions that are far beyond what is found in ordinary road cars. Its quad-turbocharged W16 engine, advanced cooling systems, and extreme speed capabilities required years of development and millions of dollars in research. Supporters argue that these elements are what customers are paying for. They believe focusing on a single shared component misses the bigger picture. In their view, a Bugatti remains special because of the way all its systems work together, not because every individual part is unique. Nevertheless, critics respond that transparency matters. They argue that when customers spend several $1 million on a car, they expect complete honesty regarding what is exclusive and what is shared with other vehicles. This disagreement sits at the heart of the entire debate and explains why the discussion continues to attract attention across the automotive community. The issue becomes even more interesting when considering the psychology of luxury ownership. People rarely buy ultra-expensive products based only on practical value. If practicality were the goal, there would be little reason to spend millions of dollars on a hypercar when a much cheaper vehicle can provide comfortable transportation. Luxury purchases are often driven by emotion, status, exclusivity, and personal satisfaction. Buyers want to own something rare, something that few other people will ever experience. Brands understand this and carefully build stories around their products. They highlight craftsmanship, heritage, innovation, and uniqueness. Bugatti has done this successfully for decades. The company created an image of automotive perfection that few brands could match. For many owners, that image is just as important as the car itself. This is why discoveries involving shared components can feel so significant. The actual performance of the vehicle does not change. The speed, handling, and engineering remain exactly the same. What changes is the perception of exclusivity. When people learn that a component may also exist in a much less expensive vehicle, it can affect how they view the product emotionally. Some owners may not care at all because they value the complete experience rather than individual parts. Others may feel disappointed because the discovery challenges the image they originally bought into. This reaction is not unique to Bugatti. Similar discussions occur in the worlds of luxury watches, designer fashion, private aviation, and high-end real estate. Whenever customers pay premium prices, they expect premium uniqueness. If that uniqueness is questioned even slightly, it can create strong emotional reactions. That emotional aspect explains why the story became much larger than a simple discussion about automotive components. One of the most discussed parts of the controversy involves the repair process itself. Many enthusiasts were surprised not only by the discovery of shared components, but also by the difference between official repair recommendations and the solutions found by independent mechanics. According to stories shared online, some Bugatti owners and rebuild specialists encountered situations where complete assemblies were recommended for replacement instead of repairing a smaller faulty part. To the average person, this can seem difficult to understand. If a single component fails, why replace an entire system costing hundreds of thousands of dollars? However, manufacturers often operate under very different standards than independent repair shops. A company such as Bugatti must consider safety, liability, long-term reliability, and global service consistency. When a vehicle is capable of traveling at extreme speeds, even a small failure can have serious consequences. For this reason, manufacturers sometimes choose replacement over repair because it reduces uncertainty. Yet critics argue that this approach can dramatically increase ownership costs and create the impression that certain repairs are more complicated than they actually are. The videos documenting independent repairs added fuel to this debate because viewers could see mechanics diagnosing problems step by step. In some cases, what appeared to be a major issue turned out to have a relatively simple cause. These moments were powerful because they challenged assumptions that many people had accepted for years. For viewers, the message seemed clear. Perhaps some of the enormous repair bills associated with hypercars are not always a result of complex engineering, but rather the result of policies and procedures established by manufacturers.